Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, we want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect and the mighty Akim and Akwath out there who are holding it down and diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. And today's topic is going to be entitled, actually, I don't really know a title for this, so you'll see the title. But anyway, what I want to talk about is the lifestyle of carnality in contrast to the lifestyle of being a spiritual, being in this truth. Now, well, first I'm gonna be reading this a few. I'm gonna cherry uh, pick some verses, and then after I'm done, we'll go down it all. Psalm chapter 49, verse 6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. So far we see we're introduced to people that trust in their wealth. They, you know, look at me, I'm rolling in Benjamins and whatnot. Okay, so let's jump down to verse 10. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Meaning, so just like a wise man, so someone who's spiritual, and the fool, someone who is carnal, both of them they they die at the end of their life, and all the stuff that they have is still like, if there's a rich wise man and there's a rich carnal man, both their things when they die are going to be given to their children. Okay, verse 11. And their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So their thought on the death of the wise man and the fool is that their houses are going to continue on because they had for in this example they had children. Okay, so their money, the money that they had, is just going to keep on being sent down. The dead, they don't need the money anymore, but their children are going to benefit from it. So their houses, so to speak, are going to continue. And this is all through the mindset of, oh, there's no, like an atheistic mindset, I assume. So, life just goes on. Oh, well, next person or next generation benefits from the money and whatnot. And their dwelling place is to all generations. So if a super rich person owns land, they're just gonna keep on giving it to the next generation. Generation one gives it to two, then three, then four, and so on. They call their lands after their own names. Okay, well, this land is the America land, whatever. Okay, so it just keeps on being given to the next generation. Skip to verse 13. This their way is folly, yet the prosperity approve their sayings. The prosperity, the fact that they're rich and they're actually prospering, they get to enjoy their lives. That's what approves them in thinking that, okay, the way that I'm thinking is the right way. My way of life is correct because I'm not suffering. Like, I'm not suffering doing these extra things that these spiritual people do, because I'm just enjoying my life. That's basically what they're thinking. Verse 14, Slakia. Um, in verse 14, like sheep they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from the dwelling. So, like sheep, they are laid in the grave. So, just like when they die, sheep they don't have wealth. So, just like a poor animal that doesn't have anything, or is just property, they die. Death shall feed on them, right there. And the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. So whatever is living, you know, it wins, I guess, in that sense. And their beauty shall consume in the grave. So their body's going to decay. It's all the same. Animal, animals, humans, wise, foolish, they all die the same way. So they think, okay, why not just enjoy my riches and whatnot? Why do I have to focus on the extra stuff of, serving the Most High? That's the perspective that they take. Now, that while they have that perspective, they miss a lot of things, and we're going to go into that in the verses that we miss and more verses down. First verse is verse 7. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Yahweh a ransom for him. So you can't. The money that you have is not going to save your brother. It's not going to save you. You can't offer the Most High money to exempt you from any any type of hardship. You know, if the Most High sets his sight on someone, on a wicked person, that wicked person is going to, you know, be destroyed, devoured, or anything. And they can't escape the Most High. And in verse 8, for the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever. That he should live, that he should still live, that he should still live forever and not see corruption. The redemption of their soul is precious, meaning it's priceless. It's something that we could never hope to save up money for, to buy out. The redemption of the soul is precious. You can never hope to buy um admonishing your sins or just wiping the slate clean. That's not how the Most High works, because the Most High can't be bribed, because he doesn't care about your money like that. Uh, and then in verse 9, as I read, that he should still live forever and not see corruptions. You're not, so even with money, even with money, no matter how long you live, money corrupt money is going to, corrupt someone. Not all the time you're going to have someone that has money. Maybe at the start, some people have good intentions, but at the end of the day, money is not what, um in this society at least, not abused. Okay. Verse 12, nevertheless man being in honor abideth not, he is like the beasts that perish. So you can have, with all the money you have, you can have, you can be, people will honor you, people will respect you for all the money because you are a rich man, you have power. But at the same time, you're not going to be right with the Most High at the end of the day. And in verse 15, and then I'm going to start reading it down. Verse 15, but Yahweh will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me, Selah. So the Most High, would not with money, or without money, that you have being spiritual, being wise, the Most High is going to redeem you. You're not even going to need to spend, billions or trillions of dollars to get yourself out of any hardship. But even then, if the Most High puts you in that hardship, you're not going to be able to escape at all in the first place. You know, verse 16: Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. So now, basically saying this is saying that if you say, if in this society, if you're made rich, don't don't fear, because yes, like I read before, in verse 9, um, money is going to corrupt you. But in and it is very preferred to not be rich, but you don't have to. It's in the sense that it's kind of like a mercy to the Most High, a mercy, and it's just you kind of have a responsibility. I don't know how to actually to say it exactly, but you don't have to go through the hardships at all like most other brothers. You know, if you are still keeping this truth, if you're still keeping His words, and you're a diligent worker in this truth. But a quick precept before I go back. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7. Two things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. So over here, it's they're saying it's saying they don't want to be poor and they don't want to be rich. They just want to have enough, just enough to make it by. Because um, having riches, being rich can make makes people carnal, and that corrupts people. But also being in poverty, it's hard, and I'll show you why in verse 9. Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. So yeah, um, people, people say, oh, there was I saw this video actually. Someone said it was a comedy video, but they basically said, if I get hungry, Christ said the Christ said the DoorDash.
Ivy, man, how you gonna eat, my nigga? The Spirit told me to fast, but if I get hungry, Jesus said DoorDash.
And that's taking the name of the Most High that's taking the name of YAHAWASHI in vain. You can't you can't you can't do something like, you can't steal and say that, oh, I had no other choice. So that's where that having faith having faith in the Most High, that you'll have just enough to survive, comes in. You know, you want to be, I guess, middle class in order to have enough, but not have more to where the point where you get carnal, or have too little to the point where you're gonna need, and you might get desperate and start stealing. Oh, here, Luke chapter 18, verse 22. This is talking about someone who's rich. Verse 22. Now when Yahushua heard these things, he said unto him, Yet yet lackest thou one thing. Sell all that thou hast, and distribute unto the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come, follow me. So he's telling the youngin, if you're rich, well, they are rich, and you need to sell your things, give to the poor, help out those who are less fortunate, and that's a hard thing to do. And that's a hard thing to do, as shown in verse 23. When he heard this, he was very sorrowful, for he was very rich. Okay, see, um, that's why um, having things makes you carnal, and having things, um, you don't want to give up your material, your the material gain that you had. See, verse 17 in Psalm chapter 49, verse 17. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. See, now here is where it gets a little deeper. You can be rich here, but when you die, you're not going to be able to take those material things with you. And they're not going to come following you in the grave, you know? That reminds me, I think I don't remember where I heard it, but I think it was Daffy Duck. He said, "When I die, bury all my bury all my money with me." I think. I don't know. Someone remembers. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Um, for when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. And that's where being carnal and spiritual comes in. If you're carnal, you don't get those you don't get all that money with you. If you're spirit, but if you're spiritual, there is a treasure waiting for you in the kingdom of heaven, as shown in Luke 13:22. Distribute to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. See, do you want the treasure here and now, or do you want the treasure in the everlasting kingdom? Because you're gonna die here, but you're not gonna die. You're gonna have everlasting life in the kingdom of heaven. So, which one do you think is better? Okay, verse 18, in Psalms 49, verse 18. Though while he liveth, he blesseth his soul, and men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself. Okay, you can while you live, yeah, um, you're gonna have money, and the things you have, they're going to be a blessing. It is a blessing to have things, but at the same time, you still have a duty to do at the end of the day. Verse 19, he shall go to the generation of his father, they shall never see light. Okay, so if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're not preaching this word, um, you're not gonna you're not gonna see the light. You're not gonna know this truth. You're not going to uh, be able to enjoy the kingdom of heaven. You're just gonna, suffer damnation. In verse 20, man that is in honor and understandeth not. If you're rich, you have things, people respect you because of your status, but you don't understand the truth is like the beasts that perish. Because a lot of people respect lions, they respect tigers because they're strong animals. A horse has power, but at the end of the day, they die, and they don't have status and power and social status, and whatnot. But they have power, they have honor, and that's why the scripture compares that those compares beasts, said beasts that I just said, with with a carnal man, because at the end of the day, there's no real glory in it, no glory with the Most High in being carnal about, oh, I want to chase that bag. Okay, and one last precept, Luke chapter 6, verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Oh, well, first verse 24, woe unto you that are rich, ye have received your consolation. Meaning that, okay, so the consolation is like a second place prize, a runner up, or here's some here's something that you get, a participation trophy. You know what I mean? Consolation, the comfort received by a person after a loss or a disappointment. So even better, even better than how I was describing it. Um, this is because they didn't keep because they failed at keeping the commandments, because they failed at pleasing the Most High. Most importantly, they get to be rich now. They get to rule now. Not just wicked Israelites, but Esau, Edom. They get That's what they get, their thing, their fun time now. And then, woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. So if they're full now, they're enjoying themselves. They're gonna be hungry down the line, because Israel, who's in poverty, their Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, rich in spirit. Poverty, physical poverty, but thou art rich, rich in spirit. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Okay, so the poverty that the Israelites, the 1/3 have to go through now, or the tribulation that we have to go through now. We're going through it now, but later we're not going to be going through that. We're going to be the ones that's full, and they're going to be the ones that's hungry, just as it says, as it is written. Woe unto you! Continue on to verse 25. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. So they're laughing now. They're eating and being merry now. Gay pride and all that stuff. But later down the line, they're going to mourn and weep because the Most High is sending YAHAWASHI to bring righteous judgment on to these wicked nations. Verse 26, woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you. For so did their fathers to the false prophets. Okay, so all the masses, the people in general, the random people say, oh, um, Will Smith is such a great actor, he's such a great person, whatever, and whatnot. They're speaking well of him now. But at the same time, um, down the line, well, not down the line, but in the past, the fathers of the people that are the masses that are praising these celebrities and figureheads, they did the same to false prophets. They congratulated, they praise all these falsities. All right. So, in conclusion, right now, the wicked are rich. Right now, the wicked are rich, but later down the line, they're going to be poor, I guess, to as a quick summary. And you know, the the thought process of it's better to be it's good to be rich now isn't right. Money, having a lot of money more than you need, it can make you a little carnal because you don't if Yahushua told you to sell all your things, give to the poor, would you be able to do it? Unlike this um unlike this man who didn't want to because he was rich. He was rich, but he didn't want to. But do you think that you can, if you're rich, give to the poor? Give your wealth that you may or may not have worked hard for, or maybe your parents worked hard for it. Do you think you can just give it up that easily? Even even celebrities who say that, oh, money isn't everything. Uh, you could have all the money in the world, but you could still be depressed. And while that is true, I think Bow Wow, he when he said that or he tweeted that, he gave a guy $500. But you really think Bow Wow only has 500? Like Bow Wow's, I know damn well, we all know damn well, Bow Wow has more than $500. He like has what, millions maybe? Who knows? I don't know. But at the end of the day, instead of distributing all his money to prove his point, he just gave basically a nickel in comparison to what he actually has to shut someone up and whatnot. And the funny thing is that it works. It works to the masses. But us, we the the true Yahweh's true chosen people, if we're spiritual enough, we know, you know, that it's not just having money, but it's being spiritual and knowing that at the end of the day, all of this is material things and it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's not our rest. All right? You have to understand it's not our rest. And all those who are enjoying themselves now and choosing to abandon following the Most High's words, not choosing to hearken onto His word, they get their consolation, their temporary comfort. But later on, they're not. We're gonna get our permanent, everlasting reward for our long suffering. All right. Now, with that, I want to give all honor, and with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahawashi, Ba'ashim, Rakakwatash, Shalom. And with that, I want to say Shalom.